Imagine being told by the Department of Justice that your firearm permitting system violates the Constitution. Most people would assume the next step would be simple: fix the problem. But what happened next in the U.S. Virgin Islands has sparked a brand new controversy, and it's one that's becoming increasingly familiar across America. The story begins last December. Federal officials took aim at the Virgin Islands Police Department, arguing that its firearms permitting process was creating unconstitutional delays and obstacles for citizens attempting to exercise their Second Amendment rights. According to the Department of Justice, law-abiding applicants were being forced to navigate a system that wasn't operating within constitutional limits. Assistant Attorney General Harmet Dillon made it clear that the federal government wanted the territory to bring its permitting process into compliance and ensure the applicants received timely decisions. For gun rights advocates, this seemed like another sign that courts and government agencies were finally beginning to enforce constitutional protections after years of legal battles. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of the controversy fading away, a new one emerged. While the DOJ lawsuit continued moving through the legal system, lawmakers in the Virgin Islands reportedly adopted a sweeping new gun control package. And this wasn't a minor change. The legislation reportedly includes restrictions on commonly owned semi-automatic firearms, limits on magazine capacity, and an expansion on locations where even licensed permit holders would be prohibited from carrying firearms. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because similar laws have appeared in multiple states over the past several years. To understand why this matters, we have to go back to 2022. That was the year that the Supreme Court handed down its landmark decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruen. The court made it clear that ordinary law-abiding Americans have a constitutional right to carry firearms for self-defense outside of the home. And for many gun owners, Bruen was a major victory. But almost immediately after the ruling, several states began passing new restrictions. New York expanded its list of sensitive places. New Jersey followed a similar path, and Hawaii did as well. Supporters of those laws argued they were necessary public safety measures, and critics argue they were attempts to accomplish indirectly what courts had already said governments could not do directly. So the result? A wave of lawsuits. And in several cases, courts stepped in and blocked portions of those restrictions while legal challenges continue. Now, many Second Amendment advocates believe the Virgin Islands could become the next battleground in the same fight. Supporters of the new legislation say the measures are designed to reduce crime and improve public safety. And opponents argue the territory is moving in the exact opposite direction of recent constitutional rulings. And that's where the real question begins. Will the courts view the new restrictions as legitimate public safety measures, or will judges see them as another attempt to work around recent Second Amendment decisions? And this answer could have consequences that reach far beyond the Virgin Islands. If these laws survive legal scrutiny, other jurisdictions could see them as a roadmap for future gun control efforts. But if they are struck down, it could become another significant victory for Second Amendment advocates and further define the limits of government authority under Bruen. So for now, the legal battle is only the beginning. But one thing is for certain: the conflict between expanding gun regulations and certain constitutional rulings isn't slowing down anytime soon. And the U.S. Virgin Islands may soon find itself at the center of the next major Second Amendment showdown. So what do you think? Because this story and this fight, it is far from over. And as always, I will see you in the next one.